welcome back. Greetings and welcome. I hope that you've enjoyed the vlog so far. I think this is about the 20th one now, and things starting to get exciting now. Well, as a team, that is. I mean, individually, I've been doing excellent. I think I was being rated number 3 or 4 in the world by this time, and it was a great honour. But even so, the Plovdiv Canal in Bulgaria, so 1989, it's a rowing course. As I said, it's a huge canalised sort of lake. It's man-made, boating lake if you like, and it's very similar to Home Pier Point in Nottingham. So if people know what that looks like, then you can say, well, Plovdiv Canal looked a bit like that. I suppose another venue looks similar to is the Huntsville in Somerset, and of course Roath Park Lake tactics were going to work. Yeah. So anyway, apparently it was just restocked with plenty of skimmers and roach, chub and small carp, and we found that when we had our little practice, which was good because at least we didn't have to worry about the catfish and the bimbers and all the other oddities that they have abroad. This was more or less this was going to be a proper match as far as we're concerned, with proper fish. And even though we did all try the pole and bloodworm, but at that time I think the members, especially a couple of new members of the team, they were starting to listen to my advice, I think, a little bit by then, because obviously for my success and my knowledge, that I was gathering, we took a new lad with us, Spud Murphy. We took him under our wing, so to speak, and and there's a few others, but I'll mention them in a minute. So anyway, so we tried the bloodworm, and as I said to the boys, look, if we got any chance of winning, we got to outgun the pole. We really got to go for the waggler, outfish the pole, because what's going to happen, boys. They're gonna bomb the ground right in. The fish are going to get spooked. Okay, they will come over the bloodworm eventually, but we'll have the march on everyone, because if we go straight out on our waggler, just concentrated, and maybe you could try the pole at a later time, but this is the way we were going to do it. Especially when you consider that we got battered the year before by Belgium, in Belgium I meant. So anyway, tell you a little bit now. Yeah, so anyway, the team all arrived to the event a couple of days early. Now the problem is we could only manage one day's practice, and getting the grips with the venue to sort a plan out in one day was going to be a hard task. But nevertheless, my first thought was, yeah, let's do the waggler, and in reality, it was the only method that I knew we had a chance of competing with. And I know we had a fair waggler team as well, so knowing that most of the continental teams were going to use a pole, as I said, by casting further out, we had a chance of competing. This year, the manager, John Mayers, in his wisdom, decided to take an extra man. Now, this always caused a bit of a problem, because when it comes to selecting the team, and it was probably due to some pressure from the Welsh Federation, to include extra men, especially from the north of Wales, because at the time it was mainly being dominated by South Wales anglers, the Welsh team. And as I said, and I believe most of the better anglers did come from the south, and mainly from the Cardiff Nomad team. Anyway, in this new team, we had, as I mentioned, Spud Murphy. He was a Cardiff Nomad from Evervale. Now, from north, there was another chap called Eric Humphreys from Connors Quay. I'll tell you more about Eric a bit later, because he's turned out to be a right nymph in the whole of the setup. But anyway, there was Colin Cook from South Wales. Now, Colin had already come to Holland, so he had a little bit of an idea on the World Champs. Again, he was another Cardiff Nomads, and he was in the team the year before as well. So there's myself, of course, there was Clive Roberts. Now Clive, obviously, he'd been holding his own as well in the Welsh setup, and as I mentioned, Richard Bainton, who's again one of the, in my opinion, a world-class angler, and Phil Davis from North Wales, as I mentioned before. Phil, being the best from the north and a bronze medalist by now. When he came third on the Arno. So it was a fairly strong squad. Yes, again, as I said, John Mayers not being able to decide again on selection the team, and of course the first day's team, he basically thought, well, I think he had instructions as well from the NFA, to have a little bit of an eliminating match, to decide the top 5 who will fish on the first day. Now, bear in mind there's 7 anglers here, so so I wasn't happy about it, to be honest, because I thought, well, pick your best team, your strong team. But anyway, what do I know? Because in the end, we kept good. As I said, we fished a stretch just outside the match length. It wasn't known to be a very good area, and in my opinion, it was a bit of a gamble, But anyway, when the small eliminating match was just about to start, I couldn't believe John Mayers. As I mentioned before, he talked about throwing stones in and putting fish off, and to try and replicate the match conditions, which is fair, but not in a deciding sort of eliminating match. But he decided to go ahead with the proceedings, and he threw stones in, and have a guess where, mainly in front of me in my peg. Oh, I couldn't believe it. What a plonker, I thought. As I said before, John's a great organiser, but when it comes to bloody fishing, now sometimes he doesn't have a bloody clue. But anyway, so nevertheless, the eliminating competition started, and in fairness, there wasn't much between our catch rate between all of us. We were all catching a few fish. 3 hours again. Trying to replicate match conditions. Knowing I was very close in the competition, with only a few moments to go, I struck into a small chub, about 10 ounces, and just when Dick North, the vice captain, shouted all out, the chub I landed was disputed by the other teammates. Oh, you can't put that in the net, they said, So I was quite reluctant. I'll put it back because I thought I probably got enough in my net anyway to be in the top 5. Thinking, as I said, I was devastated. After that, I actually had the lowest weight in the squad. Knowing that even in my World Championships, I was lying 4th in the world rating at the time, didn't make any difference. John Mayers decided, no, it was an eliminated match, and I wouldn't make the first day. But what he did say that all the 2 other anglers would definitely fish the second day, regardless of how we done. So anyway, that was it. Yeah. So anyway, the other member who didn't make it was Colin Cook from Cardiff. No, I see. Colin's never been what I rated a top angler. Like he's an average angler, but anyway, that's how it goes. Anyway, so the team, even though I was feeling a bit disappointed on the day, but what can you do? You had to go with the rules and the instructions of the manager. So in the team was Richard Bainton, Clive Roberts, yeah, he done well. Andrew Murphy, Spud Murphy, he was a really up and coming youngster because we'd fished at World Club Championships, and he was showing some great promise even back home as a youngster. And I think you all know Andrew Murphy. He went on to achieve some great results in individually later on in years. When he left the World Championship squad, he went on to win the Riverfest. He's won the Evesham Championships twice. He's a great angler. Anyway, he was in the squad, and Phil Davis, and my nemesis, Eric Humphreys. No, I didn't think he deserved to be in the team, but he was, and that was it. So what could I do? Anyway, although I was feeling a bit disappointed, as I say, about not being in the first team, I seemed to take control of the situation, and I presumed like a captain's role in a way, because I was, dictating to the team. Look, as I mentioned in our short practice, we did find that fishing at distance did work well, and those who opted for the pole struggled against the guys who were fishing a waggler. So therefore, anyway, it was all agreed, the night before, between the squad, that our chance was to outgun the pole and fish at distance using sticky maggots and knobs of ground bait, with a catapult. And anyway, the first day event, which was quite hard, very hard in fact, the venue looked good with just a slight ripple blowing, and in this unfamiliar circumstances I found myself running, remembering my youth days, of running for the Cardiff Nomads. I covered the match a length a dozen times or more for the team, passed on information and instructions, and the team members, which in a strange way was going to help me on the second day, as I would be fishing the second day. As I said, it was agreed that the bottom two anglers would make way for the two runners, namely myself and Colin. Anyway, with the venue exceeding itself, it fished well on the team event the first day. The first day, as I said, both days count now for the prizes. And every team angler, every member of the team would catch them well. Our tactics using the waggler and sticky mag, and fishing out further than most of the continental poles. Continental anglers with their poles, and it worked a treat. As I said, every member fished a blinder, really, quite well. Catching mainly skimmers and small carp, and some bigger carp. There was another vital information I did pass on to the lads, which proved a winner. The rule of playing a fish within your zone, when you hook a fish, and that was, plunge your rod tip under the water, because some of these carp in there were bonuses, and you needed to land them if you hook one. And so keeping them under the water, so the stewards wouldn't know where they are. In fact, obviously if it come up, if it surfaced when you're playing it out of your zone, then the steward would know, but otherwise they wouldn't know. And as I say, it was a great way of trying to contain the fish and landing the thing. Yes, anyway, as I said, the boys fished the blinder, and with a section win for Richie, as I say, brilliant angler Richie. Second for Spud, again, fantastic. Third for Phil, Davis. Unfortunately, Clive Roberts, he came fifth. Now, you wouldn't normally drop someone when you're fifth. And also in sixth place, Eric Humphreys. I knew Eric was going to come last, but at least he done quite well. So we were very optimistically waiting for the results at the end of day one. And when the total tally of points come through, to our pleasant astonishment, the team plan worked extremely well. And the final result on the day saw our team finish in first position, ahead of England, the favourites, and second Italy in third position. Wow, we thought, hey, how can you drop two men, one that's come fifth and one in sixth? But I was itching to have a go, and I suppose Colin wanted to go as well. And anyway, so, a change of the team for the second day, considering, all the team was fished brilliant, but fair dues, Captain John kept to his plan and dropped the two bottom anglers, namely Clive Roberts and Eric Humphreys, and into the team myself and Colin Cook. And anyway, as I say, after getting the disappointment not having to fish day one, I was optimistically looking forward to the second day. And, especially fishing a waggler, it's my forte. And having run the bank and watching the first day, I had no doubt in what I had to do. And of course, fishing my favourite method, the waggler, at distance and loose feeding and sticky maggot, I really felt, and I don't want to blow my own trumpet, I felt there was no one better than me to do it. So anyway, let's see how we get on. Come back on the next one and I'll let you know.